Boom, solo video again, and I kind of want to feed off of the video that we just shot with Carter, and I want to speak about society again, because why not? And because it ties into what I preach about bravery, courage, grabbing the ball, speaking how you want to speak, speaking what you want to speak about, etc., etc. Now, I've noticed that especially in society, there are the lower part of society, the middle class, and now the upper class, basically rich, middle class, and poor. That's pretty much what it is. Now, I realize the real issue with those three is really the middle, because the rich can do what they want, speak how they want, because they have the resources to do so. The poor don't have the resources, but they can speak and act and go on as they like because they have no tie to anything. There's no connection. The real issue is the middleman. There's connection to many things. They have a family to take care of, they have this to do, they're worried about their work, they don't want to lose their job, etc., etc. So there's too much things grabbing at them, so they can never really be their true self or be their self. That's the main issue with that subsect. Now, the rich are kind of like that, but they can really get away with more because, as I said, they have the resources for it. And also for the poorer subsect of society, they don't have the resources, so they don't really have to care. It's the laws itself are catered to the middle, the taxpayer. They use the tax to help the poor. The middle gets wrecked. Simple as that. The richer part of society use the middle gets wrecked. No matter what, for the workforce or whatever it may be. No matter what, the middle gets wrecked. Because as I said, the poorer part of society, they can be molded into diamonds. They have everything at their disposal. The hunger, the fire inside of their stomach, inside of their spirit, the traumas, all of that build them. The richer part of society has all the resources at their disposal. They can use it. They can bend the world with their resources. They can do what they want. The issue is the middle doesn't have any of those two key factors. The middle doesn't really have the resources because they have to work for the resources, and it is given to them by the rich. The poor has the fire inside of them, as I said. The middle doesn't. The middle is comfortable. Food is always on the table. Everything's going well. Everything going swell. That's the main issue. That's the key differentiator between the three. And as I said, I have experience with all three parts. I have friends in different parts of the society. I went to two different high schools, one downtown and one in a richer part of society, and I've seen it and I've analyzed very carefully and very promptly all three parts of society. What I have noticed as well is that for the richer part, it seems like it's almost like the children are in a golden prison. So prison is golden, but it's still a prison, to say the least. They can have a certain amount of freedom, but there's always a line. They cannot cross that line, because if that line is crossed, there will be issues. So it is a prison, but it's a fancy prison. But are you really free? No. Right? Now, as I said, with the poorer part, there's more freedom. There's more freedom. They can be their self. That's why you see a lot of people take themselves from ground zero all the way up. And that's why a lot of people respect that and rate that, because they never started off with the resources, yet they made something of themselves. Now, even to me, this deserves a lot of respect as well, is the children that grew up in a richer home or a richer family and even surpass their parents, even surpass those people that came before them. I find that very commendable and honorable, because it's very hard when You have so many resources at your disposal, not to just be comfortable and sit back and squander it. That takes a new level of discipline, which deserves praise. But as I say, for many in that richer part of society, it is more of a golden prison where they cannot say what they want to say. They cannot do what they want to do because there is a history, say, behind their people. There's a history behind their family. So they cannot do certain things. Again, always a line. And when you have that line, it's very hard to surpass it. You will always be limited. That is an issue. The limitation. The poorer part of society, there's not much of that limitation. Of course, there's limitation in resources, but as long as they get that part fixed, oh my, the sky's the limit. Because they've already built up their character. From my personal experience, those people that are in those poverty type areas are the realest people I've ever met. Real to the core, brotherhood. They understand, they have the proper morals, have the proper values. Their parents raised them right. Most of them come actually from good homes. You would think they come from bad homes just because their people or family doesn't have the resources, but a lot of them were raised very properly, are in tune with God. God was in the household. Surprisingly enough, maybe the individuals with all the resources at their disposal, one thing they're lacking is God. One thing they're lacking is proper growing up, proper household. You'll be surprised. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying all of them have that. Some of them do though. And you would expect them to have it all figured out. But again, they don't. Not everybody has it all figured out. We're not God. We're all humans at the end of the day. And we spoke about it. That's why no one should really act as if they're better than anyone. Unless they are able to wear it on their sleeve, so to speak. They go to the gym, lift a lot of weights. This is just an example. They go to the gym, lift a lot of weights, get big and buff. No one can question that individual's discipline, that individual's work ethic. You can see it on them. He doesn't have to brag and boast. You can see it. Now, for example, you see a skinny individual and they're puffing out their chest, acting like they're big and bad just because they have money. You look at that guy as an idiot because he has nothing about him. He has nothing about his character. You look at him as a fool. It's the same example. You see a skinny nerd hopping out of a fancy car. You still view him as a nerd. Oh, he got lucky with family money, maybe. Then you look at a big buff individual coming out of a fancy car and you're like, gee, he worked hard for it. It's two different perspectives you will have on an individual. So that's really what I wanted to speak about today. Just a bit of societal paradigms. And I feel like it's always good to talk about society because we live in society. And this is all around the world. This is not just one country. This happens all around the world. These three, poor, middle class, rich, is all around the world. And many people can relate to it and understand what I'm saying. And it all comes down to stay true to yourself. Be yourself. And don't try to fit into your group. Don't try to fit into another man's group, or another individual's group. Create your group, create your team, and make people want to fit in. That's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Love you all. See you in the next one.